As you know, and I think this has been written about extensively, a few months prior to my arrival and after a series of complaints, the university undertook a thorough 2-month investigation that resulted in a report that arrived on my desk a couple of weeks after I was here. I used to tell people that, there's a honeymoon period, and one of these things, and I did say it felt like I wasn't quite able to get out of the church. But be that as it may, the report arrived when it did, and that's really the relevant thing here today. When it arrived, it then needed to be addressed and dealt with. And we read the report. It was profoundly disappointing to me, not what I would have wished. I'm a great fan of the marching band. One of the things that Brenda and I are so excited about are the great traditions that surround the band. We had a wonderful time when we were here in January being welcomed by the band, and I'm looking forward to the band this fall. So reading the report, I was personally profoundly disappointed to see that the report found cultural problems in the band that needed to be addressed in a forthright fashion because we needed to move forward. So we made the difficult decision that new leadership was required. I'll say a difficult decision that this was thought about very, very carefully with the leadership and with others, and we came to the decision that new leadership was necessary, and this was necessary to ensure a safe and positive environment for our students, and that means a safe and positive environment for all of our students, everyone. And based on the facts, we stand by this decision. The marching band is an academic unit. The students in marching band get credit for this. And all of our academic units have a series of principles and practices that they must adhere to, both according to our values and what we know is right, according to Title IX provisions that require educational institutions to behave according to a certain series of rules and values, and also because we have to be exemplars of the best. If we are the best or among the very best universities in the world, that's great, and that's why Brenda and I came here. We have to behave like the very best university in the world. And let me say what were described were behaviors that would not be tolerated in any class or in any unit on our campus. I dare say not in your companies as well. And therefore they can't be tolerated at the Ohio State University. I will say that an environment conducive to sexual harassment is not and will not be tolerated at the Ohio State University. The right decision is not always the easiest decision, or I promise it's not always the most comfortable decision or the one that you want to make. But at the end of the day, the right decision is the right decision. And now what we are focused on is moving forward. This is about our students at the beginning and at the end of the day. And what we want to do is to take the students who are in the marching band and support them with all the resources that we know they need to be the best damn band in the land. And I want to say that I'm fully in support of them and a big fan. As I mentioned, they're in tryouts now. We're looking forward to an outstanding season for them. And I know many of you will be with us as we cheer them and support them as they move forward and continue to thrill us with the precision and dedication and musicianship and spectacular formations that we in the world have come to know and love. I'm fully confident that the band's innovation, dedication, and talent will be on full display for many, many years.
You said it was time for new leadership. The number one question in the community is, if this behavior went on decades, as the report found, why not have the director, who's only been there 2 years?
We had thank you very much. I mentioned that this is about our students and about their experience and about the things that we're required to do. We had a series of complaints that dated from the spring of 2013 to the summer of 2014. So that was the period that the report covered. Didn't go back beyond that except for qualifying information. And there were specific complaints that led to a series of facts. And we looked at those facts, and those facts led us to the decision.
It's been said that you did not meet with John Waters. Is that true, and why didn't you not meet with him?
Yeah, I again will say that what I received was were these facts, and we made a decision based on those facts. He met with the provost, who's in fact the unit, that's where his unit reports, and that was appropriate for this circumstance.
Do you regret not meeting with him?
I've met with him once before. I don't know that we won't meet again. In this particular circumstance, we used the normal chain of command to address the situation.
Why not suspend him, put him on probation, give him a year to see if he could enact these changes, really lay down the law, but say, okay, you've done good work with the band, see if you can make the change.
What we saw was a culture that, again, the facts in this case showed us that there was a culture that was not in line with our requirements under Title IX, not in line with our principles, not in line with our values, and we needed to make a change to move forward. And what we want to do is to move forward with the band and to create an atmosphere that we believe will support our students in the best way possible.
Why not discipline others? There are assistant band directors, there are senior band members. When a football player gets caught trading memorabilia for tattoos, he is suspended. Why were there no other disciplinary actions?
Again, this is based on the report that we had, and the report had a series of facts that led us to these conclusions, and they were specific and directed. And so we followed really the direction that the facts led us. And
you're the new guy.
Yes.
The report said that John Waters knew or reasonably should have known that this culture existed and these traditions existed. Isn't it reasonably to assume that university leadership knew or should have known that this was going on and allowed it to happen?
Again, there are a lot of things that we could speculate that may have been the case. We kind of based what we did on the facts moving forward. And let me say, as you know, we're gathering other facts as we move forward. This is not the end of our ability to find out things that might help us to be better. Our focus was the report that we had, and there are straightforward guidelines on how we're to follow those things, or the report we had, and moving forward.
Was it a question you had that, look, if this has gone on for decades, I mean, somebody had to have known. They opened up the stadium, they turned the lights on, the police were there for the midnight march.
Yeah, I'll say that I wasn't particularly focused on what had happened in the past. I was really focused on what we had before us and doing the best thing we could moving forward. We're focused on our students and their experience. As I mentioned, they're trying out for the band right now. So what we had to think about is what we have today, what we know today from the facts that were presented, and what the best decision is if we're going to make a change and move forward.
Two more questions and we'll move on. Any chance that John Waters gets his job back?
You know, we thought carefully about this decision. I would say very carefully about the decision, and the decision that we made was that we needed to have a change in leadership to be able to change the culture moving forward.
So no change in your mind at this point?
Not changing my mind. No, changing my mind isn't, the facts are as they were, the decision was based on those facts, the decision is the same.
You mentioned your honeymoon.
Yes.
It was very short. Do you worry, this has been such a whirlwind for the past few weeks, do you worry that this story, your decision, and the controversy that it has caused will hamper your presidency?
What I believe is that we have values that we practice. We know what's right, and we know what has to be done. And I have always been a person who did my best to find the facts and to act accordingly and appropriately on those facts and to move forward. And I will always do that.
All right, let's get on to some easier things to solve.
Okay.
Why is college tuition so high?
I'm sorry, you're breaking up. Let me just walk outside for a minute. You know, colleges are